just the product that is changing people's lives. I know for me, it's been a huge settling impact on my like just day to day. And so what I wanted to do is give you a chance to share a little bit more about what the product is, because you've been on this journey longer than me. And I'm like, okay, there's something here that's magical. And I thought we would get on and talk about how it has this impact on our human emotions. Because for me, WIDP is why I started the group, so we could have this map to tell people, how to understand themselves better. And I know we did yours, and, there's this language and it's this amazing tool, but it doesn't touch what's already stored in our body. And that's been the experience that I had was, okay, what do I do with all of the knowledge up here of WIDP and who I am and what my strengths are? But how do I get it out of my body and the organs and the tissues and the stress that, was stacked up in my, like, just my legs and my muscles at the end of the day? And now all of that is gone. So it's been just an amazing journey for me since late April when I started this. And I thought we would invite each other to just kind of have a conversation. So tell me more, or tell the group more about what you found and how we found each other, Terry.
Okay, well, I'm super excited about this. I had been praying for something. I became a sound healer after being an alcoholic. I got sober like 9 years ago, as you know, and I became a sound healer because the vagus nerve was not, I always had that jittery feeling like I wanted a couple of drinks or a Xanax or smoke a joint or something, and I was giving all those things up. And I didn't want it to turn to food because I have an addictive personality. So that's why I began the sound healing and the drumming and breath work and all the modalities. But I really have a heart to help single moms because I basically didn't have the kahunas to leave my comfy, bad, horrible relationship to go be that single mom. And I was an alcoholic, so it was scary. And so what I had done is destroyed my body. I lost 85% from my knees down and 34% in my hands. And so I was looking for anything that I could do to heal my body. Well, come to find out, I had told my body to shut down because I just physically, mentally couldn't take it anymore. And so I'm working on bringing back the feeling from my knees down, and it's a lot better, and it's a lot better with the hops, but and also in my hands and building back up that muscle in the bottom of my feet. But what I'm finding is I've been a fruitarian since April of last year, so I am still detoxing like crazy. I've got sores in my mouth now. I ramped up my detoxing since I started using the hop. I take a fulvic acid, and I do cloves. I suck on 3 cloves in the AM, and then I take the fulvic with my PHIX. But I think I needed some zinc. And I wasn't taking the zinc because I can't stand the taste of it. So now that I've added in the zinc, the sores in my mouth are going away. But what I'm finding is it's helping me to let go of things that your body hangs on to that trauma. I was married to that man for 24 years. So, and I was all worried about my children, what it was doing to them. So letting go of my children, they're adults now. It is what it is, letting go of things. And that's what PHIX is really doing for me, is helping me to calm my nerves, to just be regulated. I even had a raccoon come in the middle of the night, the other couple nights ago. And I was, it wasn't pleasant, but I was okay. I didn't freak out. I just did what needed to be done and was loving with the animal, and all these crazy things that there's always lots of bumps in life's rocky road, and just being able to handle them much better, and just being okay with it and letting it go and not getting caught up in the drama. That's been amazing for me. And my favorite part is I don't get up and go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times anymore. I only get up 1 time at night. And I wake up at 5 a.m. I call it belly button time. I go to sleep like 10, 11 o'clock, and I wake up when the sun rises. And I love that. I'm raring to go. Now, it's been a little crazy with the energies, the way they are the last week, especially. And I always had to take a nap before. I'm 62 in a minute, and I always had to take a nap. And I don't have to take a nap anymore. So I do like to take naps because I get downloads, and I love my nap time. So I do sometimes just because I can. But I don't have to anymore. So that's amazing.
Yeah, you're not feeling that drain in the middle of the day. I know I used to feel that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you mentioned the whole thing about letting go, and part of it is as I think we kind of come to terms with the experiences that we've had, and you know, you've had a journey as far as like taking things in and like stacking that inside of your body, and your body's like screaming at you, going, no, no more. You know, like I'm bursting at the seams literally to get your attention with like things in your mouth and with things going on with your feet. And you know, we tend to shove that stuff, those signals, those cues to the side because we're so busy with life, right? And
Right.
hustle and bustle and going where we need to go. And I talk about doing that on autopilot. And, you know, as we start really allowing ourselves to calm down, there's that emotional backlog, like cleaning out a closet where you're like, oh, I didn't realize I had, you know, this in the drawer or this in the, you know, I'm not even touching that piece of clothing, or brings up all of these memories. And that's been a little bit of my experience too with this and these drops is, you know, just giving yourself space. Like I have to intentionally be aware of what's coming up so that I can clear it out and allow it to just move, because that was old energy from when I was 8 or when I was 12 or when I was 20, and had some of these experiences that I just literally on autopilot shoved down. And so I'm not adding more, which is great. That's what WIDP has given me the ability to do. But what do you do with all the stuff that's in the closet, right? The emotional closet. And
Right.
that's where the aha moment for me with this product really happened. Was I was like, oh my gosh, I would wake up from a nap and I go, now I'm thinking of my mom. Well, those were old memories. Oh, now I'm thinking of my late husband, another old memory. Oh my goodness, you know, so it's like the emotional closet was allowing itself to release, and they were beautiful memories, but then it was like the nervous system was like, it's okay. You can let them, you know, go and just kind of clear. And maybe some tears, maybe some whatever, but it was temporary. It wasn't the deep, dark tunnel again that the mind plays tricks on us about.
Right. Right. And what I really find key is I'll get on my trampoline and start dancing or jump around or go outside and yell and scream and dance like a crazy person, like nobody's watching, you know, like get that out of your body physically, mentally, let it go. And I say, I'm letting you go. You are gone now, you know, and I do all the things. I was thinking today, I do some pretty weird things, belly to the ground. I do whatever it takes to get my body back and to get healthy again.
Oh, well, tell the group about the product, because I mean, I am just, you know, I don't know all of the science behind it, but I know the impact, I know the change that it's happening, and I see the change in other people's lives. But let's talk about the product.
Okay, so this is amazing. It's called matured hops. It's not the hop that you get anywhere on Amazon for $20. This is the matured hop that is grown in New Zealand, and it's so amazing. They take the matured hop and they take the three bitters and they create the little tincture. They mix it with purified water and they just mix that together. And they started studying this back in the 50s, in 1953, and at that point, it would cost $1 million to create this. So that obviously sat on the shelf for a while, but they kept doing the research, thankfully. And so what they've found is that it's like taking a cold shower without freezing your tushy off. It works on the vagus nerve, which is the longest cranial nerve in your body, which really regulates the whole nervous system. So where we want our body to be is in homeostasis. This puts our body into homeostasis and it's just, yeah, everybody's looking for that quick fix. That's why we do the drugs, you know, the pharmaceutical thing. And this is the quick fix. From day one, when I received it on a Thursday afternoon, I did not. Now, it's not going to fix everything in your body, but it is, you know, it depends on that trauma has been in you for a long time. You have to give it. I'm not saying it's going to be a quick fix for everybody and everything, but there's certain things that it's going to start saying, okay, you can let go of this now. And that's what I think is the general consensus for everyone is that let's go of that. Some people are letting go of the visceral fat around your arteries. So around the organs. So we all have visceral fat. I don't care how skinny you are or how overweight you are. We all have visceral fat. And so letting that go, that is also where the trauma is stored. And I'm just learning more and more about that. So as we're letting go of that visceral fat, we're letting go of a lot of trauma. So it's working on the visceral fat, it's working on the pineal gland, which is actually what is going on in the universe right now with all the solar flares and everything. So it's working, it's helping with everything that we need. And the bitters, that is like, I was taking a product called Bitter to help with the digestive system. That's why at Thanksgiving dinner you have olives and pickles. Even that is to help the digestive system. Anything that's pickled is really helpful. So it has that. It really, I just feel like I never want to be without this. Now it is a plant. God created it, so maybe when the vagus nerve is all regulated, when but there's still the stuff in the water and the stuff in the air. Maybe when all of this is back to normal, how it should be, then we won't have to take it forever. But it's an amazing company. I love their heart. They're not just pushing a product. They do. In fact, the new product that we just created, the Fit, they created that out of another part of the hot plant. Yes. So I'm excited to learn more about that. So that's really cool too. And we have other products that are biodegradable that I'm using too. And that's not I feel that everybody needs Fix. Everybody does, because that's what's wrong. You go to the doctor, they do blood work. They don't ask you how's your mental health. They don't ask you how much do you exercise, how is your diet. Those are extremely important things. How is your life? How is your love life? How is your husband? How do you deal with life? That's extremely, like, emotional health is so huge. And that's another thing that I really wanted to get into. So I was super excited when I met you, and I'm meeting some amazing people. It's all divinely orchestrated, because a lot of you, I didn't even know you at all, or that you were watching me or anything. Just all of these people are ordering, becoming customers, becoming international sales reps. And it's just all of us like-minded people are coming together. And we all have the same mission to help people to get their health back, get their life back. And mental health is huge. And not a lot of people know. It took me a few years. I've been into this sort of thing for a really long time, but it took me a few years to figure out what exactly, pinpoint the issue, that it was the nervous system. But like I said, I was really looking for something that was going to help the masses and on a faster level. And it's the price point, I think, is really amazing. And especially if you join as an international sales rep, it's like getting a whole bottle for free. And then when you do tell people about it, because you will, then you can make a little money, at least get your product for free. And we can teach you how to do that if you're open to learning about that. It's not something, I just tell people about it. I share stories, and that's what I do on Facebook. I share stories, and the people that think that I post about it too much, they're not the people I'm looking for, right?
Right.
So we have something really amazing here, and everybody needs to know about it, in my opinion.
I'm on that same mission. And when I learned the art, and the language that Dr. John created with WIDP, I was like, every person on this planet needs to know their emotional design. And that it's not the human design, it's the emotional design. It's, how do I express myself and show up in my different, environments, social and at work and in my relationships. But then what do I need in return? And that's not what human design, was kind of, it goes way beyond that. But this is simple and it's easy to learn. And so I've been on this journey for the last couple of years, but then, my body was still filling up, it was still inflamed, it was still hurting, it was still swelling, and it was doing all these things, even though my head and my knowledge knew the other piece. So for me, the aha moment was, okay, it's body, mind, and spirit working together, but they have different parts to the puzzle. And different parts to wellness means we have to look at the whole picture. And you touched on something that is so important, and that's, you go and you do your blood work. That's the physical side. But as you mentioned, they're not asking about your mental state without giving you some foreign substance that goes into the body that disrupts the emotional signals and the cues of our central nervous system. And no wonder why there's books like Body Mind or the trauma, the Body Keeps Score, where it talks about the different places that we house trauma. And, everything from lungs holding grief to, you get that ball in your stomach when you feel like you've, lost your power or somebody's taken your voice away. That's the vagus nerve wired up to all of those organs. So no wonder why visceral fat stores there and trauma stores. That's like literally the emotional download into your stomach or around your lungs. And that was my biggest aha. It was right before I found this product, Terry. I was struggling with my COVID lungs were really starting to bother me. And I was short of breath and I was having all of this like nasal stuff. And it was like something was blocking. And I think it was getting so full of that inflammation that, some divine intervention said, no, you got to get some kind of a product. And boom, we were connected. And it was like, thank you, universe, for pointing me in the right way and in the right direction. And, for me, listening, right? Because sometimes we just ignore that.
Right.
So I'm really grateful to connect with you.
Right.
So, yeah. So as far as the product is all over the country, right? It's all over the world already. Do you have any size or scale of like the types of, real like aha moments that people are having, or is it just in the Facebook group that's out there that we can refer everybody to when I post this video, that they can go and kind of read and see what other people are experiencing? That's the best place to go right now.
You can invite them to the Facebook group, and then when you get signed up later today as an international sales rep, then you can give them your information. I can help you set up a link tree, or
Okay.
I used a link tree in the beginning. We can do that for free, and it's duplicatable. So if anybody else wanted to do that too.
Okay. Yeah, I really want to make this part of, it is the emotional closet, right? So, we can't help what's in the closet. And, part of the talk therapy, I see all these amazing, just really heart-wrenching posts. They're amazing because they're like, it's proving over and over that I'm not the only one going through all of this. So we have some company in a sense in our little bit of misery, but that means that we can all experience what the other side looks like when that trauma gets out of the body. And that's something that nobody really knows how to do per se, other than somatic therapy, maybe some of these other treatments, but something that, is as simple as a glass of water can really help with this type of a plant extract in it to just kind of calm the nerves and give us a chance to catch our breath and to catch up.